say that you truly love yourself? Do you think it sounds selfish to say if you do? I'm here to convince you to get rid of that mindset and for you to feel free to be completely and selflessly enamored with yourself. You might be thinking, it's hard enough for me to find love with someone else, so why should I focus on loving myself? What if I told you self-love is much more important than trying to find love with a partner? Since you are with yourself all your life, you might as well learn to love the person who you are. Self-love increases self-confidence, giving off a humble glow and a positive vibe, allowing a person to lead themselves with fidelity and engage in the community with fortitude. My presentation will persuade you to learn to love yourself by revealing how negative long-term self-talk impacts our mental health, explaining how the media affects our body image, and by sharing some simple steps we can take in order to fully accept ourselves. Loving yourself means loving everything about you, from your thoughts, your physique, your interests. Standing before you today, I cannot say that I've learned to love myself fully, but I've been working on it for about a year now, and I cannot wait to have finished this journey. Today, I will first talk about where negative self-talk comes from, how it impacts our mental health, how the media affects the way we see ourselves, and lastly, give a couple of tips on how we can start loving ourselves. First, I would like to address how avoiding self-love can affect the state of mind. The voice that judges our every move inside our head is known as self-talk. Some of our self-talk may derive from logic and reason, while other self-talk may arise from misconceptions we create due to lack of information, according to The Nation in September 2018. It's important to know where our self-talk comes from and how it is shaped in order to transform it into positive self-talk. These misconceptions come from family, friends, school, and especially the media. According to cognitive psychology, our thoughts, self-talk, and expectations determine our emotions. In turn, our emotions are what drive our behaviors, according to C.E. Noticias in September 2018. It is vital that we know to turn our negative thoughts around for the sake of our mental health. Studies have linked negative self-talk with higher levels of stress, lower levels of self-esteem, decreased motivation, greater levels of helplessness, and depression, from News Release Wire in September 2018. Learning to think positively will help you find your self-worth and will dismiss you from relying on any illegal or toxic substances to help get rid of that not good enough feeling. Now that we have learned how self-talk can affect us mentally, how can it affect the way we feel about our bodies? In a recent study done by Carlo in 2018, mental health and self-esteem scores were shown to have a positive correlation with body dissatisfaction, indicating that those who were dissatisfied with their bodies were likely to have lower levels of self-esteem. After learning that media is one of the main culprits that alters our self-talk, social media especially may elicit downward online social comparisons. That is, comparing oneself less favorably to others, leading to negative emotions, from Barry in 2018. With the hashtag body positivity going on, people are swarming the internet with their individual body types, trying to promote the movement created by plus-size model Tess Holliday from Song 2018. It is not fair to our parents, to our genetics, to be ungrateful with what we were born with. We simply cannot compare ourselves to those with naturally perfect physiques, or to those who have maybe altered their bodies in such a way that can't necessarily be achieved naturally. When people see pictures of others on the internet, the exposure to extreme body types have been found to be associated with body size and shape misperception, from Stephen in 2018. Don't believe everything that you see on the internet, but more importantly, don't let it affect the way you talk to yourself. Negative self-talk derives from misconceptions, and it's important that we are able to recognize these fallacies in order to justify why we should stop judging ourselves so harshly. Also, people need to remember that there are apps that can create the illusion of a perfect body type. Women can make their waists look smaller, and men can make their muscles look bigger. People who do this may feel the pressure from society to look a certain way, but it does not communicate the message that Ms. Holliday was trying to promote, which is loving yourself and loving your body, even if we can't fit into a size 2. Now that we've discovered how the media can affect the way we see ourselves, what steps can we take in order to start loving ourselves? First things first, turn your self-talk into positive self-talk. Positive thinking just means that you approach unpleasantness in a more positive and productive way. From The Nation in September 2018. I know it's hard to not critique yourself when no one else is hearing what you have to say, or when there are various agents telling you what is socially acceptable. But in order to be truly happy with who you are, you need to learn to let these things go. Let go of society's idea of what the perfect human is like. We were all born with different feelings, different faces, different likes and dislikes. Embrace them all, as you are the only person on this planet that are given all these unique characteristics. Second, take care of your body and soul from learning to love yourself in July 2018. Changing your mindset and how you judge yourself internally will help you stop critiquing yourself so harshly and just learn to appreciate you for you. As a result, these negative thoughts and emotions will go away, allowing you to dismiss any illegal substances or by eliminating any toxic behaviors in your life, according to Wedge Sugar Cruz in 2012. Love yourself enough to not want to destroy your lungs or liver. You deserve to be healthy and to live a long and happy life. Treat yourself. Ladies, take a nice hot bath with an oddly satisfying bath bomb and light some candles while you're at it. Gentlemen, kick off your shoes, sit down on the couch, and play that video game that you've been dying to play all day. Making time for yourself will allow you to forget about the outside world and its expectations, and just give you time to focus on yourself. Now that we've discovered how we can start taking care of ourselves more, let's conclude. Today, I first talked about where negative self-talk comes from, how it impacts our mental health, how the media affects the way we see ourselves, and how our self-judgments on our bodies are based off of misconceptions shaped by society. I have taught you why it's important to develop a sense of love for yourself in hopes that you take control of your mental health and for you to learn to appreciate who you are. I wish I could say it's easy to learn self-love, but unfortunately, with factors like social media constantly stating what is right and wrong, discourages us from accepting who we are. Love yourself for the person you've become, not what society wants you to be, because people were given the gift of individuality. Take a moment, look to your left, look to your right. We do not look exactly like the person sitting right next to us, so embrace it. What do you have that you appreciate? What do you have that no one else has? Simply learn to love yourself. Don't pout because you're given basic brown eyes, a body that isn't like Kylie Jenner's, or that you like a hobby that isn't very popular. Smile because your eyes look like honey in the sun. Laugh because you don't need to spend millions of dollars in order to feel comfortable in your own skin. And lastly, know that there are others out there that like to Rubik's Cube too. Now, go do yourself a favor and go love yourself.